I have three bold rodeo predictions by 2030. First, a cowgirl or cowboy will break $10 million in a single season. Next, anything less than $1 million during the season will not qualify you for the Wrangler NFR or PBR championship. And finally, a cowgirl will not only win the Linderman Award, but also the PRCA All-Around. How? It all starts right here and now. Spoiler alert. Fast forward to the last 2.5 minutes if you're short on time, and then come back and watch the entire video with your support network. The following ideas are discussed more in my soon-to-be released book, Beyond the Arena, the Ultimate High-Performance Guide for Rodeo Athletes. Please subscribe to my channel and check out my website for more details on the release of Beyond the Arena. Since the first professional rodeo more than 150 years ago, rodeo athletes have battled a logistical nightmare trying to go down the road and not only enjoy this ultimate American pastime, but for those who are serious about being the best, win championships, gold buckles, and other accolades. As any cowgirl or cowboy, or even more so, family and friends, knows, it is a constant battle trying to juggle the events, practice, school, jobs, family, relationships, training for you and your animals, transportation, injuries, sleep, nutrition, and on and on. In order to go hard when it matters most, you have to be completely recovered and remain injury-free. If not, your performance and almost everything else in your life will suffer, and an injury could totally derail your goals. I know I'm not alone in the fact that I really hoped Stetson Wright would have been totally healthy at last year's Wrangler National Finals Rodeo and achieve his goals. I also know he will come back stronger and better than ever. In John Branch's amazing book on the Wright family, The Last Cowboys, Bill Wright, Stetson's grandfather, says, "It ain't the ability, it's the drive and work ethic." I believe that for just about every sport, and I've competed in or coached athletes in more than 20 different ones, most athletes have fairly equal natural talent. However, just like Bill Wright noted, the desire to be the best and do whatever it takes to get there is what separates the champions from the wannabes. Another Wright family member, Spencer, 2014 PRCA World Champion saddle bronc rider, says, "Training is living, breathing, and constantly trying to get better at saddle bronc riding." However, that doesn't mean just riding broncs all week long and then going to a rodeo on the weekends. It's what a rodeo athlete does in between the rodeos that makes a difference. In addition to Branch's account of life on the road for the Wright Cowboys, over the past 6 months, I've seen or heard how arduous it is chasing your rodeo dreams. For example, in Cole Harris's excellent documentary on the 2023 calf roping race to the Wrangler National Finals Rodeo, his cousin Ty discusses his travel during his record-setting Cowboy Christmas. In the same video, Tuff Cooper outlines his exhausting schedule in order to qualify for the NFR. Both of these guys and many others did whatever it took to get the job done. As Bill Wright mentioned, they definitely had the work ethic and the drive. Speaking of drive, but not that kind of drive, let me propose a scenario I believe will help achieve my introductory predictions and could help you 10x your results. You just finished riding your bull, and after signing a few autographs for some fans, you walk to your rig. When you get there, one of your assistants, we'll call him Plato, takes your gear and puts it in one of the storage areas. "How are the horses?" you ask him. "Outstanding. They're all cleaned, loaded, and eating," he says. "Great. Let's hit the road," you say. Plato walks over to the door and pushes a button. A set of steps appears, and the door opens. You walk inside and are greeted by your other assistant, Athena. She smiles and congratulates you on another victory. You sit down and she takes off your boots and you give her your hat. Meanwhile, Plato has gone to the cockpit of your Warrior Works coach and begins to pull out of the parking lot. As soon as the coach has arrived at the start of the highway on-ramp, the vehicle pulls over and Plato gets into the horse trailer to take care of the horses and gear. Next, you step into a changing area and begin to prepare for the first phase of your on-the-road recovery. A sensor in the floor assesses your body composition. A small door opens and you grab a recovery cocktail. Sorry, no alcohol. And then you say, "Hello, Socrates." Socrates is kind of like Siri, but it is your complete operating system designed to help you not only completely recover on the road to your next event, but to take care of every detail of your preparation. A voice immediately says, "Way to go! You placed first in 2 out of 3 of your events and won the all-around." As of 21:34, August 17, 2028, you now lead the all-around standings with $7,197,279.13. You are also leading in 2 of your events and 11th in the third, which you are only $12,981.07 out of 10th place. We are currently headed to Washington State, where you will compete in Kennewick and Bremerton over the next 5 days. You will also compete in Tremonton, Utah and Pueblo, Colorado before taking 3 days off for a complete recovery and time with family before the Ellensburg Rodeo, also in Washington. We are scheduled to arrive in 9 hours and 17 minutes. Do you have any questions or concerns? What's for dinner, you ask? Based on your current nutritional needs and body composition, Athena is preparing blackened salmon, lobster stuffed ravioli, grilled asparagus, and a dark chocolate mint mousse. To celebrate today's victory, you also get 5 ounces of red wine. I believe it is the Argentinian Melbach you prefer. You take off your jeans and shirt and place them on a hook. As you look at the back of your shirt, you can't believe it took rodeo so long to go to an alphanumeric code embroidered on the back and sleeves, which is unique to you. No more worries about pinning on paper numbers and having them get torn off. Underneath your shirt and pants are your custom-made climate-controlled compression garments, which provide numerous benefits during the day and have already started the recovery process. When you step into the shower, the lights become red and the floor begins to lightly vibrate as the water begins to spray you from all directions. It gradually heats up and then goes cold. This contrast continues for 10 minutes. In the background, music plays at a specific frequency to help you relax and lower your heart rate. Your wrist device continues to monitor your bodily functions, and the data is constantly being fed into Socrates. After your shower, you put on a comfortable set of clothes and footwear. Your footwear encompasses the latest technology in acupressure, magnetic therapy, and reflexology. Athena says you have 11 minutes and 32 seconds until dinner. You sit down in a massage chair that also provides cold therapy to your legs and upper torso, thereby helping with inflammation and recovery. Athena instinctively hands you a virtual reality headpiece and a beverage with some electrolytes, which Socrates formulated for you based on a salivary sample taken from the straw you used to drink your recovery cocktail. During your events, Athena and Plato use the latest film recording technology to record your performances. Your helmet, saddle, and clothing all contain sensors which took in additional data that was fed into Socrates and helped formulate your recovery protocol, as well as develop future mental and physical training programs. Once you are settled in, you say, "Socrates, please play today's film." As you watch the replay of your events, the headset and chair also record your physiological and psychological reactions. Athena has finished preparing your dinner and you move over to the dining location. While eating, Athena cleans up the food prep area and then takes care of your clothes, boots, and other gear. In between bites of your delicious and nutritious meal, you ask Socrates, "What's on the schedule?" A large flat screen monitor drops down from the ceiling and Socrates responds while the schedule appears on the screen. "We have a wonderful ride planned for you tonight as follows. After dinner, you will have time to video chat with your family and friends. Next, you will be provided with an overview of your business and some exciting new recommendations on how to increase your brand and sponsor interaction. You will also receive a short video presentation on your newest sponsor while undergoing red light therapy. Then you will enter your sleep pod and begin your first of 3 polyphasic sleep cycles. Each cycle will start with visualization and breathing exercises prior to a complete 90-minute sleep cycle. In between your first 2 sleep cycles, you will take a 20-minute infrared sauna and spend 30 minutes in the hyperbaric oxygen chamber. At the end of those 2 treatments, Athena will provide you with another recovery drink. Between the second and third sleep cycles, you will undergo today's strength and conditioning workout. For an idea of what I'm talking about, please watch Will Tennyson's YouTube video on futuristic training methods as listed in the description. After the workout, you will take your nootropics and receive a 20-minute massage chair treatment, followed by 30 minutes in the darkened flotation tank. When you wake up from your last sleep cycle, Athena will have breakfast prepared for you. After breakfast, you will have free time to read, work on your Spanish, and practice your harmonica while your food digests. And finally, before we arrive, you will undergo your pre-event warm-up on Minotaur. Minotaur is a virtual reality, three-dimensional, interactive device that can simulate the most highly possible rides, rough stock, and timed events of a rodeo athlete based on their draw, previous rides, environmental conditions, and specific personal physiological and psychological data. Do you have any questions or comments? Socrates asks. Nope, I can't wait, you say, smiling. Oh, one other thing. Your stem cell replacement therapy and PRP, platelet-rich plasma, injection for your roping hand is scheduled during your time off before the Ellensburg rodeo, says Socrates. Next, you spend a few minutes video chatting with your family and friends who congratulate you on your recent success and are excited to see you during your break. And before your first sleep session, your virtual office provides you with a complete business update, including a presentation from your newest sponsor, a CBD product-focused company endorsed by a world champion and Hall of Famer. Yes, I know what you're probably thinking. This old homeless-looking dude is off his rocker. In the beginning of both of my books, I begin with my favorite quote from Socrates, the real Socrates. He says, "I cannot teach anybody anything. I can only make them think." Therefore, after watching this episode, I hope you walk away shaking your head and thinking, what if? I firmly believe today's rodeo athletes are extremely under-recovered, which causes excessive injuries and less than ideal performance. Although traditional recovery techniques may help, it's time for rodeo athletes to step up their game as other professional athletes have already done. For great videos on recovery, sleep, and the future of working out, I highly recommend checking out episode 168 by Champion Living Fitness, Josh Brett's video on how elite athletes sleep, and Will Tennyson's video on futuristic workout equipment, which I'll link to in the description. Imagine taking a luxury motor coach and stripping out all the non-functional luxury and replacing it with the recovery tools mentioned in the scenario. Fancy fixtures and plushy lounge chairs do not help you recover. In order to drastically increase your performance, you need to think outside the box and prioritize function over form. Driving all night, scrunched up in the front seat of a pickup truck, eating junk food from convenience stops, and scrolling through social media on the road to your next rodeo will never help you become the first cowgirl or cowboy to hit those predictions I made at the start of this video. Yes, I hope to find a manufacturer who will help me develop a line of Warrior Works coaches, as I discussed, as well as affiliation with the companies who provide the recovery products I mentioned in the scenario. How many rodeo athletes are sponsored by an infrared sauna company or a manufacturer of a hyperbaric oxygen therapy chamber, let alone use compression garments? I have seen thousands of amazingly advanced horse boxes from European companies, yet nothing compares to them here in the States or as I described. All of the products and ideas I mentioned are already out there as shown in the recommended videos. However, putting them into an autonomously driven, solar-powered hybrid recovery vehicle with a couple of robotic assistants helping you is not that far off. I did mention that, right? And what if similar technology could also be applied to animal recovery while on the road? To be honest, the investment in a scaled-down version of what I discussed is not out of the question and could literally 10x your results and your longevity in the sport of rodeo. For rough stock riders, you could join forces with a couple other riders and share the costs but reap the benefits. Another option is to use as many of these recovery techniques as possible at home, on the road, and at longer events, even if you stay in a hotel. And, as I highlight in my book, do not think of how much recovery costs, but the return on the investment. How much would 10xing your results and longevity affect your life and those around you? I will go much more in depth on recovery in my book and future videos. And one more thing. Did I mention the rodeo athlete in my scenario is not a cowboy? She's a cowgirl, leading the PRCA all-around, barrel racing, breakaway roping, and hanging with the cowboys in PBR bull riding. If you think I'm crazy, just type in female bull rider in YouTube search. It's gonna happen.